Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome to Xenonauts 2 by Goldhawk Interactive, a spiritual successor to the original XCOM trilogy. And that's the original games, not the newer, slicker, more cinematic ones from Firaxis. I never really did anything with the previous game, but from what I understand, Xenonauts 2 is just supposed to basically be a streamlined and upgraded version of the original Xenonauts. And, both are still very heavily based on the classic XCOM formula. And honestly, if you're an XCOM fan, you can't really go wrong with that. That said, I've had this one on my watch list for years now, and it is finally hitting public early access as of another week or so from now. The developers were kind enough to give me a slight sneak peek at it, so let's get in there. We'll kick the tires, run through a mission or two, lose a few soldiers, and see what it's like. And if y'all like it, maybe we'll do a bit more. Let's check it out. Oh, and difficulty. I am tempted to immediately go for veteran, but it's been a while since I've played a proper XCOM-like. But what the heck. This could very well be a one-shot, might as well go in hard. We'll also leave the intro enabled with the associated tutorial. I'll mostly be skimming past it, but this way you can pause it if you want to read any of the tooltips. And aside from that, we do have some other options here, but I think we're fine with the defaults. Let's do this. It is 2009. The Berlin Wall still stands. The Cold War has grown ever colder. A clandestine organization named the Xenonauts secretly gathers intelligence on a shadowy threat looming over humanity. Sightings of unidentified flying objects and unknown beings have grown steadily more common. A strong correlation emerges between these reported sightings and rising international tensions. But those reporting or investigating alien activity frequently disappear without a trace. Mysterious figures known only as the Cleaners are believed responsible. Mere weeks remain to prepare for the coming invasion. Our species stands little chance of survival should the Xenonauts fail to unite humanity. Right, so pretty bog standard for an XCOM-like. Except for that bit about the Cleaners, that's interesting. Human pawns in the aliens game, perhaps, or maybe a separate opportunistic faction like Exalt, the guys from XCOM Enemy Within. And we're in. Like I said, we'll skim past most of the tooltip stuff, just focus on the story and the tactics. But again, feel free to pause if you'd like to actually read any of that stuff. That's why I left it enabled. My work on our radar array is now complete. Theoretically, we should now be capable of tracking any alien UFOs passing within radar range of this facility. Thank God. It's not exactly been easy to borrow all the things you've been asking for. Hardly my concern. We must all achieve the impossible if we are to triumph over the extraterrestrials. Yes, very inspirational. So what's the plan now? We wait. An alien craft should pass within range in the next few days. At that point, the commander takes over. That's me. I'm the commander. There's our radar tutorial. As you can see, pretty standard. Apparently we're currently set up in Africa. Though I imagine in the full proper game they'll give you an option to choose where you start. We have our standard game speed selectors, though I noticed that there's no pause. The lowest setting still allows time to progress. Oh, and we've got a UFO, but we also had some other incidents, which I imagine would have triggered potential missions if we had actually been within radar range. But we are still in the tutorial, so we'll do what they want us to do, which is to intercept this small, I imagine, scout ship. That seems like a logical place for them to start us. We have our basic air combat stuff. We have to select the ships to scramble. We only have 2 right now, Angel 1 and Angel 2. And sadly, from what I understand, the air combat system, the manual air combat system, is not ready for the early access build. So that we will not be able to preview. But that's fine. Honestly, I don't think I've ever seen a fun air combat mechanic in any of these XCOM-like, so I can live with that. We'll just auto-resolve, as the tooltip is advising. And we're good. Ship's down. Though I do find it interesting that they're giving us an option to basically redo the battle manually, in hopes of a better result. That feels pretty lenient for an XCOM-like, at least a proper Julian Gollop-style XCOM-like. And there's our first crash site. So right into the fire. I would like to rename some of our soldiers, but I think they're going to send us in with a tutorial team first. Sort of a step-by-step guided tour of how the tactical battles work. And yeah, see, sadly there's not a lot of customization you can do with these guys, but you can edit their names at least, which, you know, you could do back in the original XCOM as well. Though sadly we can't do it now. It appears that it's inaccessible during the tutorial phase. But I might tweak a few titles if we do more episodes. It's just not an XCOM-like if I can't feed viewers into a grinder. That sounds ominous. It is. Every cleaner cell in the region is deploying tactical teams. No prizes for guessing where they're headed. Time for us to leave. Wonderful. Just what my research efforts needed. I suggest you recall your soldiers, Commander. We need to hold the perimeter until everyone can get away. Indeed. Try not to get killed. You seem less mediocre than your predecessor. Gosh, thanks. Do you really mean it? Yeah, good luck, Commander. We're counting on you. Cool. So, right off the bat, making it clear that I am the sacrificial pawn who stays behind to ensure your safety. I'm glad we got that out of the way early. That was basically the entire running gag of my XCOM 2 series. I also like the implication that I am not the first commander, that whoever came before me died horribly. And we're in. Tactical battle map looks nice. Much more polished than last time I checked in on the early access builds. Obviously, we've got time units, always nice, though honestly, really just a more granular version of action points when you think about it. Oh, here they come. Is that me? Form up and hold the loading bay. Wasn't really expecting them to give me a face. I look weird. And movement. Let's bring you up. Yeah, so it is a guided experience. Gotcha. We'll simply follow the on-screen prompts because it seems like they've disabled all the other controls until I unlock them via tutorial. Okay, so crouch. That'll make us more accurate and harder to hit. The downside being we have to spend points to stand back up. And here's the rest of our squad. Running up in out-of-combat mode, which I imagine is a luxury we will not usually get to enjoy. And here's the baddies. Likewise, running in between turns. Yeah, so those are like stereotypical government cleaners. Interesting. Though, of course, there's no telling if they're actually human under those clean suits. Okay, so obviously we have an RNG-based accuracy system, though I believe it's also with simulated ballistics, and damage is also on a range based on the weapon and hit location. Turns do not end after you take a shot, and there are no artificial cooldowns, as per classic XCOM. You either have enough points to do something, or you don't. Nice and simple. But also intensely complicated, once you really get into serious fights. They're prompting us to fire at this guy at long range, undercover. Wow, and look at that, we didn't hit. I can't imagine why. Right. So now the tutorial is prompting us to get much closer and to flank a target, so we are not firing through cover. That does seem like a good idea. We've also got toggleable fire modes. And a complete whiff. Yes, they worked to getting XCOM'd right into the tutorial. I appreciate that. Though, in this case, it wasn't really being XCOM'd, was it? That was preordained. Gotta say, that's not quite the same, Xenonauts 2. There's our cover tutorial. The game does use directional cover and fully destructible terrain, I believe. And we do have free aim. That's a staple for a proper XCOM-like. Sorry for XCOM. And grenades. Though that is not so much a grenade as it is a C4 satchel. But hey, whatever works. Cover's out, so we should now be able to mow these guys down. Nice. And double nice. Though again, preordained. I imagine we're still on some pretty tight rails here. Oh, really? Okay. I mean, normally I wouldn't rush out into the open like that, but we'll move up and get a point-blank shot on this guy. Oh no! It's all gone immediately wrong! Who could have foreseen this? There's too many of them! Fall back to the next room! Yeah, about that. Good luck? And there it is. There's our token sacrifice to the gods of drama. Hey, thanks tutorial. Glad you showed up. Yes, there's our tutorial on the dangers of Overwatch fire when running around in front of enemies who still have action points to burn. Unless, of course, you suppress them first. Which it conveniently did not mention to us until after poor Alex was dead. Flashbangs are the easiest way to deal with Overwatch, but there are other ways to suppress people, even just shooting a bunch of bullets in their direction. Burst fire in particular, even if it misses, can be handy, as can smoke. Though, notice in this case, we did have a bit of friendly fire, because unless you're equipped properly for it, smoke will cause stun damage. Which means our guy here is now slightly stunned. So he may be our oh, nope. Regroup at the next position! We need to hold them off until the evacuation is complete. And tutorial complete. Well done. Hey, we all made it out. I'll try not to squander this gift I have been given. You think I raised that death flag high enough? Ah, Commander. Good of you to finally make an appearance. Apologies for the delay. This place isn't exactly easy to find. Yes, I believe that's rather the point. Commander, glad to see you made it. Welcome to our backup facility. I had a command room and a cache of emergency supplies installed a while back. No getting around the fact that our new home is a derelict nuclear bunker full of 60s-era junk, though. Hope you're fine with cold showers, cold food, and, well, cold everything. You don't last long in the military if you're not. What's our status regarding the cleaners? Relocating bought us some time, but they're still after us. If we don't find a way to eliminate them soon, they'll find us and start attacking here, too. But they're not even our biggest problem. Indeed. My recent study suggests, once estimated mass is figured in, extraterrestrial activity appears to follow a mathematically predictable pattern. More precisely, exponential growth. And we're nearing the end of the curve. In plain English, the UFOs arriving in our skies will soon begin to increase rapidly in size and/or quantity. I doubt it'll take long until the aliens launch a full-blown invasion. I don't like the sound of that. How long do we have? Weeks. A couple of months at most. I suggest you make the most of it. And there's our base placement. So we lost the previous one to the cleaners. And now are afforded a chance to customize our starting location. And logically it would make sense to pick a spot that covers a lot of landmass. Shooting down alien ships over water means you can't salvage them. But, as anyone who's been following me on social media knows, I just recently relocated, so might as well pay homage to that. We'll go about halfway up the East Coast here. And, in acknowledgement for my other favorite game, welcome to the Holler. Invasion Analysis. Hey, Commander. Seems like the covert stage of the invasion is coming to an end, so I'm officially handing over control of our organization to you. I'll still be here running day-to-day operations, but right now we need someone with military expertise in charge. A quick primer on what you need to know. We're in surprisingly good shape, given recent events. We got the helicopter away with all our civilian staff, our chief scientist included. Although naturally, he spent the entire flight complaining that we'd rescued his lab assistants instead of his research notes. Please resist the temptation to cause him bodily harm. The only thing worse than having him in charge of Research Division would be not having him in charge of Research Division. The man is quite literally a genius, and absolutely essential to the war effort. Your best chance of getting him to shut up would be to start recovering the research samples and specimens he wants, i.e. find some aliens, kill them, take their stuff. But I'll let you figure out the specifics for that particular topic. The eventual goal is to learn enough about the extraterrestrials to work out how to defeat them. But reverse engineering their technology might help even the odds in the meantime. There'd be poetic justice in using their own weapons against them. I'll take care of the political situation, provided you keep global panic to a reasonable level. My agents can't operate if a region gets too paranoid, which means no funding and alien influence goes unopposed. Lose too many and I won't be able to stop tension spilling over into nuclear war. Best get started, eh? There's coffee in the pot. And research project available. Combat vehicles. Your ceaseless interruptions do not enhance my productivity. Yeah, well, live with it. Alright, well, we've got one project to choose from, so we'll get that one going. And we should now have access to our soldier roster. Yep, there they are. As you can see, we've got pretty basic stats, but it more or less mirrors the original XCOM series. They've also got it color coordinated to indicate where everyone's strengths and weaknesses are. And of course, if we want a closer look at individual soldiers, we can do that here, in the armory, where we can assign or customize equipment loadouts, because I should stress that's what these are. The game does not have actual classes like Firaxicom or Phoenix Point do. Rather, your soldiers just become stronger over time as you use them in battle or as you leave them in appropriate training facilities. The loadout titles are really just to help you keep track of which soldiers have which gear. And technically, any soldier can perform any of those functions, though note, of course, they will be naturally restricted by their actual attributes, most notably carry weight. We've also got a few backup soldiers, but we're going to need way more than that if this is a proper XCOM-like. Pretty straightforward, especially if you've played XCOM before. That said, we've got some funds to burn, so let's go ahead and grab all of the halfway decent recruits currently in offing. We are definitely going to need more warm bodies. Generally speaking, I personally prefer to focus on soldiers with the highest turn units, but in this case we really need to just grab whatever we can get. We do not yet have the luxury of being picky. Oh shoot, actually, wait. While we can actually afford that monetarily, we don't actually have enough room for this many new soldiers. Right, I didn't notice that. Okay, well, I guess we'll just grab the two with the highest turn unit values. And then we'll jump over to base management, because we are definitely going to need more living quarters. Which is fine. That was our next step anyway. We have to get some other facilities going as well. Alright, let's see what's going on here. Once again, we've got a pretty familiar sight for anyone who's played the classic XCOMs or Phoenix Point. And it does appear they gave us the bare minimum to get started. But we are definitely going to need a whole lot more than that if we want to succeed. Then again, we also don't want to overspend, because while we do have a fairly generous starting fund, saving up for a second base is going to be one of our earlier priorities. So for now, we will do what we came here for, which is one extra living quarter. That way we can recruit additional soldiers. Plus some basic stuff to support them. We'll go for a training center, and we'll go for a medical facility. That way we can train up the soldiers who aren't out in the field, and we can actually properly treat our injured, which will be very important, because we're going to have a lot of those. Unless they just straight up die. Alright, I feel like that's enough basic infrastructure stuff. Let's see if we can get some action. An alien research team has been sighted gathering data in the local region. This presents our organization an opportunity to eliminate them and recover their equipment for study. We've also got some other basic mission info here, but I feel like it's all pretty self-explanatory. So let's get in there. To those who are about to die, we salute you. Let's get a grenadier in the mix. We'll need to pick someone out who has a decent strength, though. Those things are heavy. And I think we're good. Obviously, over time, you'd want to work out more specialized loadouts, specific team mixes for certain types of missions, stuff like that, but that's all stuff we can worry about later. And here we go. Place your bets now on our casualty count. I'm gonna say 3. It has been a while. I've been coddled for too long by much kinder games. Okay, so basic elimination mission. There are more complicated, more nuanced mission types later, but they're starting us off simple. You're almost on top of the energy signals, Commander. It is highly likely there are extraterrestrial life forms nearby. Let's hope they weren't expecting a fight. Eliminate all resistance and secure the area. Yeah, easier said than done, but I'll see what I can do. And first things first, let's have a peek out our side doors. Because there is nothing worse than strolling out the back of your carrier, only to immediately get mowed down by Overwatch fire. Hey, Civvy. What's up, buddy? Plus a little alien scanner doodad. Let's get a better look. Okay, looking pretty clear so far. I think we're good to disembark. Marta? Hey, okay, you didn't die. That's a good start. We'll just deploy along this wall here. I will say, I'm pleasantly surprised. I really thought we were going to have like a turn 1 KIA. Because that would be a true XCOM experience. But we seem to be okay so far. No enemies in sight. I am wishing I had brought a second shieldman, though. That way we could have one for each squad. But, you know, that's the kind of thing you can tweak over time to fit your individual playstyles. And of course, the big downside to having shieldmen is you are literally trading offense for defense. Though I would say there's probably a lot of merit to loading a shieldman up with, like, grenades and such. Or stun rods, for when you get to the live capture segment of the game. Not that I've had much time to really experiment with that stuff. Oh, crap. Okay, well. And there it is. There's our turn 1 KIA. I didn't check the higher elevation level. That was a rookie mistake. Rest in peace, what's-her-face. I'd be upset, but I didn't have time to get attached to you. Corporal Sophie Wright. Shoot, that was our heavy, too. Would have been nice to have that machine gun. Let's get a peek up top. There you are, you jerk. Let's take this guy out. Down he goes. A bit late, but better late than never. Sorry, Miss Wright. Let's get Sergeant Stridham up there to back him up. Shieldman's watching the ground level to make sure they don't get behind us. Oh, yeah, let's bring up the Grenadier, Corporal Smith. And Squad 2. Let's immediately check the roof. And thank goodness we did. We'll take 0 chances with this one. Oh crap, I really thought that would get the job done. Our puny human grenades are simply not up to the task. So we need someone else to rush in there. Yeah. Okay, change of plans. We are not going to leave you standing out in the open. Oh my goodness, come on. Alright, well, let's just hope he can't hit us from like 20 tiles away. And we'll bring Corporal Green here up as well. What I'm hoping for here is that that other alien will step out to the left, and once he comes in sight, we'll mow it down with reaction fire. But I guess we'll see. Fingers crossed. Okay, that wasn't quite how I pictured that going, but fair enough. Still got the job done. Lost a civvy out there somewhere, too. Let's patch our sniper. I mean, look, he got dinged, but he took the enemy out in the process. That's about the best you can hope for this early in an XCOM-like. I've also got a pretty good shot on this guy, but it might be better to knock out that cover first. How's your throwing arm, Corporal Brown? Nice. And clear the line of fire. Oh wow, goes all the way to 100. Okay. And he is not down. My goodness, we need to upgrade these weapons. Something fierce. Even the weakest of our alien foes are shrugging off shots left and right. Unfortunately, I don't think we've got enough action points to finish him off. We'll just make sure we're all well entrenched. And of course we've got another Secton flanking us. Well, good luck to our sniper. I believe in you. Let's check in on Squad 1. Things are actually looking pretty clear on this side, though we do have a corpse over there, which does not bode well. Ground floor is looking clear. Actually, can we? We can. Silly me, expecting second floors of buildings to have walls. Target down. Take cover. Let's bring up the rest. Ooh, slight hitch there. Which I am going to interpret as meaning that we just passed close to someone's visual range, but did not spot them ourselves. So we will hold. There goes another civvy. That's not great for our panic levels. Ow. How you doing there, sniper? Not great. 2 hit points and bleeding out. We should probably do something about that. Oof. Poor guy packed a Nerf rifle. Alright, let's get that patched. That'll keep him going at least, but one more hit and he's done. I'd really rather not blow up that scanner if we don't have to. Hey, what? Well, solid hit, but still not enough. And somehow methinks that Corporal Brown is not going to be able to cover that distance and fire his shotgun in a single round. Okay. Let's hang back and huck a frag. Odds aren't great. Yeah, fair enough. Looks clear. Let's have Corporal Moore fall back. We'll try to make her a more tempting target. Draw fire off our more vulnerable soldiers. Can we draw line of sight from here? We can. Excellent. Well done, Sergeant Zaleski. Hug cover. And we'll have these two keep watching the other direction. Yes, I know what I'm doing. Thank you. I want her to save her action points so she can shoot aliens when they run out in the open. I mean, the alternative is us rushing across that open field, which just does not feel like a good idea. Okay, looking good, looking good. No enemies. Oh, there we go. Move up on the window. Burst mode? Oof, that is not a good chance to hit. We'll go single shot, I think. How about you, Corporal Green? I know you've got a couple of sucking chest wounds, but you think you could land a shot? The odds aren't terrible, though your firing path does go through a floor and a wall. Yeah, sure, let's give it a shot. And would you look at that? Consummate professional, that man right there. Though obviously that is not a shot you would want to take with anything less precise than a sniper rifle. A stray could have easily killed our guy at the window. We've got another one in sight, not in cover, but unfortunately positioned so that Squad 1 doesn't have a good bead on it. So we hold. What, don't you want to come outside? It's a nice day. Ah, he's really going to make us go in there, isn't he? Just gotta do this the hard way, huh? Alright, fair enough. Oh, hey. Hi there. Okay, slight change of plans. We're obviously not going to run across open ground while there's one on our flanks. So we'll focus on this guy instead. Coin toss, but we've already burned our closer demo charges. And no luck. Though no friendly fire, so that's nice at least. Alright, let's do this. We'll have Corporal Moore here push up with her shield. See if we can get its attention. Yeah, I'd say he noticed us. No good firing angle, we'll just push up. That is a risky play, but hopefully it'll pay off. Oh, you know what I should do is have our Grenadier sprint over to Squad 2. But I'm just not sure it'll really make a difference at this point. Yeah, just hold. Oh, and here we go. Oh, come on, guys. Come on. There we go. Thank you. My goodness. Such is the curse of the rookie squad. But with any luck, the people who actually survive this fight will no longer be rookies. And we're good. Mission complete. Nicely done. And hey, anyone who bet on one casualty, technically two with those wounds, you win. You get a fabulous no prize. Don't spend it all in one place. Rest in peace, Sergeant Wright. I done did you wrong. Oh boy, and look at that. A whole avalanche of minor incremental improvements on everyone else who survived. That also nets us a modest pile of loot, which we can now research, I believe. Oof, but we take a pretty nasty hit to panic, since we lost all 5 of the locals in the area. Which I suppose is the downside to that overly cautious approach I was taking. You know, you have to find a good balance, I suppose, and I definitely erred on the side of caution. But again, that's just part of the game, finding a good style to approach it with. Let's get back to base. Resource: Alien Alloys. My preliminary analysis of the recovered alien equipment suggests widespread use of a previously unknown metallic substance. This super heavy element is clearly artificial in origin, being far too massive to occur naturally. It is fundamentally unstable in its natural form, and thus only ever encountered as an alloy. The properties of these alloys vary dramatically based upon the constituent metals, but appear to range from truly remarkable levels of strength to more exotic behavior, such as superconductivity. This likely occurs because the nucleus of each atom is so large that the orbiting electrons are approaching light speed. Hence, the element is governed not by the established rules of classical physics, but by the bizarre possibilities of quantum mechanics. One suggests we will find many uses for these alien alloys as my research continues. However, given that we lack the technology to synthesize them ourselves, you will need to scavenge whatever possible from our foes. Autopsy. Secton. Not to be confused with the legally distinct sectoid. Psionic triangulation, body size small. Sightings of diminutive extraterrestrials with pallid gray skin and oversized black eyes are a common thread among eyewitness reports of alien activity. It appears we may have encountered the culprits. A secton stands less than 5 feet tall and possesses substantially less muscle mass than the average human adult. Their physiology is nonetheless fascinatingly similar to our own, with mammalian circulatory systems and largely recognizable internal organs. The head contains the most significant differences. The brain is relatively large and has a distinctly unfamiliar structure, while the eyes are at least 3 times the size of the human equivalent. Unsurprisingly, this grants Sectons excellent vision. The mouth is present but is underdeveloped and hidden below several folds of skin. The teeth suggest an omnivorous diet, yet no food is present in the stomach. Instead, a number of metal ports are dotted around the spine. However they evolved, it appears these creatures now receive their nutrition directly into their bloodstream. Battlefield reports suggest Sectons can cover ground quickly, but are generally weak combatants, with average accuracy and reflexes and otherwise poor physical attributes. Yet they also become markedly more formidable when encountered in groups, somehow placing their shots with unerring accuracy whenever a fellow Secton is nearby. Though these creatures should not be underestimated, one nonetheless suspects we will encounter rather more deadly extraterrestrials in due course. Also, gotta love that over-the-top graphic autopsy image. That is also classic XCOM. Ooh, new research projects. Alien magnetic weapons, Warden combat armor, and xenobiology. And you know, as much fun as it would be to have more powerful weapons, given how fragile we are, I think we might gun it for that Warden combat armor. Though we still have combat vehicles going, can we pause that and start a different project? We cannot. Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. We're pretty much out of time anyway, so we're gonna have to wrap it up here. But if you guys would like to see more, let me know in the comments down below. And of course, feel free to share your thoughts, your impressions on the game thus far, and of course you can check it out yourself once the game hits public early access on July 18th. I knew I had it here somewhere. That said, we'll hit the pause button for now. I will fuss with our squad off screen, maybe give these guys some proper names so I feel worse if and when some terrible fate befalls them. And we will maybe pick up here next time, so be sure to let me know if you'd actually like to see that. Otherwise, it's back to our regularly scheduled programs. Either way, see you then. Oh, and special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, including but not limited to Revenant, Alois, Dragon Matrix 7, Drakiith, V23, EgonAlter, Emile, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, James Trimmier, Kazorm, Mark Giemza, Nathan Welch Jr., OverlordPherom, RandomPassrby, RobbyB, Rowan Church, Tomasz Piątkowski, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, if you'd also like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things. Trust me, it does make a difference. Or you could even check out the PayPal, the Patreon, the Nexus GG, or the YouTube memberships. Links are in the description.